work seekers are placing a premium on these DEI aspects. And there's employee engagement statistics that show that those who are driving DEI get better performance out of their employees.
Hi there, and welcome to another edition of Outsized Advantage. I'm Niclas Thelander, founder of Outsized. Today I've got with me Johann van Niekerk, our CEO and head of Africa. Welcome.
Thank you.
Today we are going to talk about a topic that's grown in importance over the last few years, and rightly so, I think, namely diversity, equity and inclusion, otherwise known as DEI. So we are going to talk about what it is. Most people probably know, but just as a recap, and more importantly, how accessing the independent talent market can actually help companies meet their objectives when it comes to DEI, and how it can help them in their business. So, Johann, maybe we should start off by just quickly defining what is DEI, what does it actually stand for?
Okay, thanks Niclas. Diversity, equity and inclusion. So let's walk through those. Diversity, I think, has been a topic for a while. And in this respect, we're really talking about diversity in talent, and that's across a range of factors. Race, ethnicity, age, gender, sexual orientation, and even others would say diversity of thought, something that you're looking for, maybe the sort of slightly more intangible.
How about height?
Certainly is something you could aim for, but I don't think as important as perhaps the other
those
factors.
who know me and Johann will know what I mean.
Then equity. Equity is really around equal opportunity, and also about the removal of biases in processes and procedures. And that's something that I think is something we all struggle with. It's natural to us all, but we try our best to remove the biases. Lastly, inclusion is really about trying to achieve a state where you can be your true self at the workplace. And so there's nothing hampering you being who you are, who you were born to be. And that, I guess, becomes even more difficult in a diverse workplace. And so that's something we all try to deal with.
Okay. And in your kind of day-to-day job here, have you noticed any difference in terms of how companies, employers, how they view DEI? Has it become more important to them, or is it something has it been kind of a slow shift, or how do you see that?
In South Africa, in our particular circumstance, diversity has definitely been a big topic for a long time.
Sure.
And so that's something we continue to work with and continue to strive for. Equity, certainly, especially in aspects such as physical abilities, certainly really part of that diversity. But how people, for instance, can access workplaces, physical access to workplaces. So there the equity becomes really important. The inclusion is an upcoming topic, but certainly I would say is hitting us less in terms of the type of work that we do, but very much on the radar.
Okay. And the drivers for this topic becoming more and more important, what are some of those?
Across our markets, there is the regulatory aspect. Now, we don't want this to be a tick box exercise, of course. That's not the reason why you would be doing this, but it's certainly something that regulators to varying degrees are looking at across various markets that we deal in. So that may be one reason. I think it's also become quite clear that work seekers of any kind are placing a premium on these DEI aspects. And so the best employers are those that are seen to be doing the most in these aspects. So there's a drive from talent. And lastly, I think just being a good corporate citizen. Many corporates are seeing that this is the right thing to do. It's not something they should have to do. It should be something that they want to do, and that the benefits are there to be realized.
Okay. And In terms of the benefits that you say, in terms of benefits to be realized, are there real business benefits, like tangible things that companies can achieve by having a greater focus on DEI?
Absolutely. Now, we've spoken about the regulatory side, and there may be benefits to that. So let's accept that, but then move on to the other benefits. I think first and foremost, innovation and just difference of thought. Bringing in people who think differently, come from different backgrounds, have different experiences, and can share that and collaborate together has a profound impact on the business. So now we've gone beyond the tick box side of things. As we've said, those companies that build a reputation for DEI and for truly espousing the values underlying that, they build a great corporate brand, and so we know that brand has value. And then from the employee side, there's the chance to attract far more talent. So they're getting better talent because of this, especially for those to whom this is an important aspect. And there's employee engagement statistics that show that those who are driving DEI get better performance out of their employees.
So in our line of work, I mean, for those of you who don't know us, we're a talent on demand platform, basically matching independent consultants, freelancers, contractors to clients, whether it's enterprise clients or consulting firms. How can clients use partners like us or others to kind of drive their own DEI efforts?
I would say this is primarily in the realm of diversity and equity. The first thing is that platforms just have such bigger reach and networks compared to any one individual. And so while something like diversity would be quite hard to achieve with independence if you were relying on your own network, through a platform that has a vast network and an ability to work that network on your behalf, they can help contribute to the diversity, and it can actually be part of the process. It can be something that they take on board. Speaking for ourselves, I know that we've had clients come and say, this is the composition of our team, and to bring greater diversity, we'd prefer a woman, for instance. We've had that, and we are then able to go out, search for the best talent, find great talent, but still contribute to the diversity of the team, something that they consider important. So platforms are now able to directly complement the DEI strategy of a corporate, which perhaps you would not have been able to do before the emergence of platforms such as ours. On the equity side of things, in particular around bias, their platforms we've seen implementing technological processes for selection and matching in particular. So algorithmic approaches, AI if you want to call it that, but systems that assess the match between an independent and your requirements, which are not then based on what they look like or what you may think of them or their accents or their age. It's removing all of those biases and just saying who is right for the job, and can they do what you require, and are they good value, and on these aspects. So we remove a whole lot of biases which really contribute very directly and tangibly to an equitable treatment of both the freelancers, but then also equity in the broader recruitment processes that you have.
Have you ever gotten clients ask you to provide kind of masked profiles in terms of names or pictures, things like that? I've seen that elsewhere. I'm not sure how it is in South Africa.
It's not, I certainly know in some other markets when you're assessing CVs, you have to remove things like age and gender and profile photos. That's not necessarily a requirement here. It's certainly something we can do. Yes, we do provide masked profiles at times for various reasons, and so this may be one of them. But I think we're probably moving in that direction, and we're very happy to do that in terms of contributing to these DEI requirements, which, as we've spoken earlier on, are at different stages of development around the world. So talking about South Africa specifically, we obviously had a big focus on the diversity, and so there's an awareness, I think, in terms of how that should be allowed for. and an awareness that we can actually use platforms to enhance our diversity. For the rest, we'll see how that changes over time, but certainly it's something that we can do.
Okay, so maybe looking a bit closer to home, right, at Outsized, how do we view DEI and how has it kind of affected in terms of how we hire our own team?
I guess like many corporates, we consider it to be part of our practice and the right thing to do. So very practically, say here in South Africa, we have triple BEE, and that is something that we are very much aligned to and have been working on. So in terms of the diversity of our staff here in South Africa at various levels and how we include them, so of all ages, races, and trying to bring equity into our the composition of our staff here in South Africa.
Is that that be the triple? What can you just explain? What is that? Is that a good rating, a bad rating, an average rating? What does it mean?
Broad-based Black economic empowerment is really about addressing the injustices of the past in the South African context, and so while that is focused primarily on the diversity aspect, it really does also extend into thinking about equity and inclusion. And so we work hard in terms of the type of business that we are on the inclusion side to make sure that everybody is comfortable in the workplace, they can truly express who they are and be, who they are, as we said, to repeat myself. But so that's on the inclusion side. Equity, well, we're lucky at this stage in that we haven't had to address any kind of physical requirements around that, but certainly it is absolutely the case that we are an equal opportunity employer at Outsized, and we'll also apply it in an equitable way so that if there are specific areas, given your personal circumstances where you need assistance to bring it onto an equal playing field, we will do our absolute best. So that's a commitment from our side, really, and it's about the right practices. But we are a very diverse company. I think anybody who knows Outsized will know that we have an incredible range of people in terms of gender, ethnicity, religion, and we're a global company. So it's partly, I guess, our luck that we have all of that in our company, but it's also what we've gone out to build.
I think anyone who wants to can look us up on LinkedIn and just check our profiles, and it certainly makes work much more interesting to work with. Does. I mean, for me, I'm sitting mainly based out of Sweden, right? But working with people from all these geographies and all different kinds of people. So yeah. Okay, thanks, Johann. That's very interesting. Appreciate you taking time to be here today. We'll speak soon again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.